Today we're watching a video from Bouch, who does pretty good videos, really funny challenges and the like. And today we'll be watching his video, Can You Beat Slay the Spire without playing a single card? Can you? In a game all about deck building. Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, go.
I found my YouTube password. Slay the Spire is one of my favorite games, so seeing that the release of the second one has gotten severely delayed until somewhere in 2026, I finally relapsed and couldn't help myself but to return to this game for one final session of this absolute masterpiece. But there's a problem. Slay the Spire is a card game, and I'm kind of dumb. Okay, we win here. Luckily, the goal of
Oh yes, that there is the classic Rage the Spire lifestyle. Yeah, and having to read on top of all that. I'm playing a card game. Do you think I have time to read all these cards? No. Like, I don't deck build, I don't strategize, I don't try to optimize my card choices. I pick cards that give me the best aura. If that doesn't work, I can't. Let's press on.
this game is simple enough even for me to grasp. We just need to make our way up the spire from down here all the way up here. I mean, just how hard could that really be? In order to do so, we gotta climb the floors of the spire and slay the little dudes on each floor. These may start off weak, but end up threatening literal existence itself. Luckily, in order to be able to keep up with this extreme increase in enemy difficulty, the game rewards us with all kinds of upgrades to our deck along the way, which let us do things like this. Not bad.
The best feeling.
Alternatively, you could also get infinite armor every single turn. Yep, I see no problem here. Get unlimited strength to one-shot anything, because why not? Do whatever this is supposed to be.
I need to try these infinite builds
I'm gonna be honest, even I'm not sure what's actually going on here. Play literally infinite cards. Or why not just do all of them at the same time? Anyway, as I said, Slay the Spire is a card game, and what's the one thing that every single card game needs? That's right, cards. This video is so stupid. So of course, instead of simply getting good or, you know, reading the cards properly, I figured that if I had such a hard time navigating this game with the cards, then why not just remove them? Let's find out if you can beat Slay the Spire without playing a single card.
I'm curious how to do this one. In a game all about deck building, can you beat it without the one fundamental thing about it? Yeah, these kind of challenge videos always tend to be kind of clickbaity sometimes, but this guy does pretty good style, so let's see what he does.
Now, if you think this is a dumb premise for a video, I mean, you're right. Welcome to the channel, I guess. Make sure to subscribe. In this game, cards are what give you 99% of your power after all. So by removing them, we turn from peak fictional main protagonist to just some dude. Of course though, when I first came up with this genius idea in my head, I figured that this would be easy. I mean, just how hard could it really be to beat an entire game based on cards without, you know, using cards? So, overconfident as ever, I launched the game and embarked on a new standard Slay the Spire run. Attempt number 1. We begin on the start screen where we right away get the very important decision of selecting a character. This choice normally completely changes how the game is played, as all 4 characters get access to completely separate collections of nearly 100 cards. But with our restriction, since we're not allowed to interact with them, it actually changes nothing. So I just picked a character and started attempt number 1. And well, alright, here we go. Slay the Spire without playing cards. Encounter number 1. I just realized I can't do anything. Guess I end my turn? and then I end my turn.
And turn.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure what I expected, to be honest. This was going to be slightly harder than I had anticipated. We can start the game, select our class, talk to the big smelly whale, click on the first
Get me out, you
guaranteed
big
combat
smelly
encounter,
whale.
and then...
And die.
Turns out, to the surprise of no one, that when you cannot play a single card in the card game, you don't really have a lot of things you can do. In fact, we have so little choice that there's really only one thing we can do. And that thing is mashing this big end turn button repeatedly until we are straight up just beaten to death. It was obvious that if I wanted to get anywhere, I would have to come into this with a set plan. And luckily, the first step is quite simple. Our character choice. Because when I said that the only thing that sets them apart is the massive list of cards, well, I kinda lied. There is one more thing that is different.
Oh, no?
And that thing is a sneaky little starting ability they all get, completely unique to just them. And with protagonists as strong as these, you'd think that they would start with something at least okay, right? Well, let's have a look. We have the Ironclad, the tank, big boy, great sword wielding badass, normally easily reaching
Ironclad,
hundreds
yes.
of block, shrugging off anything in the game without a care in the world. And can you guess what amazing passive feature he gets? That's right, a tiny heal.
Splat.
We have the Silent, the assassin who
wife.
poisons enemies before bombarding them with literal hundreds of shivs. And she gets to draw 2 more cards. And we have the newest.
Well, you know, in defense of the silent gameplay, you know, she is slow to get started from what I see. But she has a lot of great power cards, so being able to draw more cards in the beginning hopefully pulls all your power cards on turn 1, right? Which gives you time to set up, especially with energy economy being a bit more forgiving in Slay the Spire 1 compared to the second game so far. You know, so you know, in my wife's defense, you know, being able to draw more cards turn 1 is a good thing. It seriously is.
Character, the Watcher, who with her stances can multiply all her damage several times, completely obliterating all opposition instantly. And she gets a special card. Quite obviously, none of these help our current situation whatsoever. They don't let us damage any enemies, meaning that we are still left to simply end our turns again and again until we've lost. Thankfully though, there is still one character left, who is significantly different from the others. The Defect. This robot-looking man is special as he gets to start each game with 3 so-called orb slots. In these, he can channel 4 different orbs, which, very importantly, at the end of our turn, without us having to lift a finger, passively do different things. And one of these passive effects, which coincidentally also just so happens to get channeled automatically by his starting relic, does the one thing we currently cannot: passively deal damage to enemies. Yep, that's right. By picking the Defect, we have achieved violence. A
Yes.
massive 3 damage at the end of our turn. We no longer just have to sit here and watch as we get brutalized. We can now slightly tap them back and still just lose all the same, but it is a start. So we are now
Right,
significantly closer than before, which is cool. Now what? Well, thankfully, there is still one more guaranteed encounter you get, even before running into this first raid boss. And that encounter is the Whale. Before any run starts, you get the pleasure of speaking to him to pick a free reward. There's a bunch of different options he can present you with here, like giving you free money, or getting slightly more max HP. Most of these won't help us get past any fight, but there is actually one specific choice which will. This one here, giving us a special relic that for the first 3 combat encounters sets all enemies down to just 1 HP. Normally, this only has a 1 out of 5 chance to appear in the second slot, but luckily, if you're shit enough to, on the previous attempt, not even reach the first act's boss, something which we certainly won't be doing.
Look, in my defense of my playstyle from before the silent, look, if I run into Goblin Knob in Act 1, it's over, okay? It's just completely over. 9 times out of 10. So sometimes it's not even our fault we can't reach the first boss. Okay?
he will 100% of the time always offer this option. Which now means that since we set the enemy's health down to 1 and then at the end of our turn deal 3 damage to them, I was finally able to make it past this first encounter. 1 floor down, only 47 to go. Oh boy. From here though, things get significantly more interesting. Slay the Spire is, after all, almost completely randomized. Each and every floor can randomly contain basically anything, ranging from rewards that single-handedly carry a full run to straight up just death. The map, apart from specifically floors 1, a guaranteed monster encounter, 9, a guaranteed chest with a relic, and 15, a guaranteed rest site, can theoretically contain almost anything. Which actually turns out to be an overall good thing for us, because we will need to be exceedingly lucky in order to get anywhere here. So, with this fresh victory still on my mind and
yeah, even if he never plays the card, you know, if he gets the right potions and the right relics, I think he could pull this off. Let's see.
Confident that with the 2 remaining freebies, I'd be fine. It was time to attempt to tackle the rest of Act 1 of Slay the Spire completely cardless.
Get out of here. Bam! Elite down! Negate the next 2 curses you obtain.
Oh, wow. he was lucky enough to get an elite on floor 3. As for one-shotting Goblin Knob must feel so good. I rarely get that lucky whenever I get Niao's Lament. Usually I get like 4 or 5 rooms before an elite encounter. This guy got really lucky. I wonder how many times he had to reset for that.
Oh, incredible. And here's another guy. Oh, this one is not happening. I mean, 10 floors climbed, I guess. Not bad. Go again. Okay, question marks are good. We want question marks. Zapped. Golden Idol. Oh, nice 12 metallicized. Oh no. Shit, man.
Clearly, this was not working, because in over a dozen attempts, I had, well, basically achieved nothing. And the
Lagavulin balloon is always such a pain to encounter. Yeah, that's true. You know, the right relic can make all the difference in your builds. You know, can change it from just barely working to, you know, absolute victory.
furthest I had even gotten was to right here, 1 encounter before the boss of the first act.
Well,
the problem was simply the fact that, sure, I could win any 3 fights for free, but as soon as they ran out, I just stood no chance. We may have a single 3 damage at a random enemy every turn, but it is nowhere near enough to handle even the most basic of enemies. So, instead of just bashing my head against a literal unbreakable wall, it was time to think a bit more outside the box by having a look at what is even left in this game when we remove the cards. Bear in mind, it is a card game, so there is not a lot, but even so, 2 things still remain.
Yeah,
these being potions and relics.
Yes.
The first of these, potions, are single-use consumables. So while their effect can be very powerful, they only have 1 use and would therefore not be the answer. No, what we need are relics. There are almost 180 of them in total, all having different passive effects which in one way or another aids you during a run. These can range from raising your max HP by 10, making your strike cards deal 3 more damage, or single-handedly letting you go endless, doing an infinite amount of damage with almost no setup whatsoever. If I wanted any chance of getting any way...
Running infinites are so good when they finally work. I guess that's why they had the time slug as a boss to punish infinites, I guess. Which is kind of rough, man. You know, if you manage to pull off an infinite, you know, you have to be really lucky and work hard to get it. So it kind of sucks that there's a boss purposely designed to punish infinites.
These are what would have to carry me there, because it is, after all, 2 of them that has so far already gotten me this far. So let's try to solve our issues using as few relics as possible. The biggest right now being the fact that we have nothing defensive, like, at all. Yeah, currently we're just dying while trying to do anything. The best way of solving this I could find was Orichalcum providing us with 6 block each turn if we end our turn without any, and Thread and Needle, giving us 4 plated armor at the start of any combat, which passively gives us 4 armor at the end of our turn. These two together are the strongest defensive relics we can get, always providing us with 10 block every single turn. So surely this would be enough to sustain taking any amount of hits from the easiest of enemies. Yeah, no, not even close. And this is basically all due to our damage. Our tiny 3 damage to a random enemy works fine when they all literally have 1 HP, but anything more than that and we have to spend tens of turns to kill even the easiest of enemies. Unfortunately for us though, offensive relics don't really exist at all. And there's only really 4 that do anything and just 1 which does enough. The Stone Calendar. This relic is interesting as it literally does nothing for the first 6 turns, but at the end of the 7th one, it nukes all enemies for an absolutely massive 52 damage. So we now have a list of 3 relics that together at least would give us a chance at getting to the first act.
Yeah, in theory it's good. Of course, most battles shouldn't be lasting you 7 turns, right? Typically you want to clear through them quickly. So the calendar makes a good, like, jail card if your fights end up lasting that long. It won't do much against bosses, but if you get stuck in a tough hallway fight, the calendar can come in clutch.
It's boss. But the main problem now was, well, getting them.
Yeah.
Just getting any 3 relics before the first boss is not really hard. Opening the guaranteed chest on floor 9 always gives us one, and so does killing an elite, which you usually can do by just pathing correctly within the first 3 combat encounters. Then we just need to get any of these random events to give us the last one. So getting enough relics is not the problem, it's just getting these exact relics. Because getting 3 specific ones from a pool of close to 200 is, let's just say, not the greatest of odds. If I tried just brute forcing it like I had been doing, I would probably be stuck here for months, if not years, just trying to find even one suitable seed. So instead it was time to get some assistance in the form of a seed searching mod called Filtered Spire. Simply put, this mod looks through millions of seeds in the time it takes you to look through just one, searching for very specific requirements that we enter, which very conveniently can be these 3 specific relics in this specific order. So it was finally time to attempt some real runs and try to find a suitable seed which could at least stand a chance of beating the
Oh wow, I definitely need to look into that mod. My goodness. Yeah, it's something that it is fun to watch other people play. But a mod that finds a perfect seed for you. Wow.
first act's boss.
Oh, here we go. 70 million seeds. Guess we're going here. Okay, Stone Calendar. There's my Thread and Needle. I mean, this is a lot of question marks. And a shop. Mercury Hourglass. Did I miss Orichalcum? Because Orichalcum is in this elite, isn't it? It has to be so specific. Oh my god, I found it! It only took 900 million reloads.
Only 900 million seeds.
Nice. Thread and Needle, okay.
You think searching for the perfect seed is cheating? Is it? Yeah, probably. I guess probably it is cheating. I guess the goal isn't really to do it fairly, but just to see in theory if it's possible, right? But yeah, it probably is a bit disappointing that he searched for a specific seed to do it.
It's Orichalcum. Can I beat an elite? Probably not. Yeah, okay, no, that's not the way.
Yeah, so these relics alone would not be enough. They easily let us get to the first boss, but when we actually get there, we are in big trouble. Each of the Act 1 bosses has at least one attack, which deals well over our current only defensive layer, and with our main damage source only doing 52 damage, we need to deal...
Oh yeah, the calendar only activates once too, yeah. Oh, so it's fine searching for your compendium. I can't pronounce that word. Is that pronounced compendium? For your collection book, yeah. Well, I guess it's a certain point of view, right? I guess if you're trying to present it legitimately, yeah, then they're searching for a specific seed. Maybe it's cheating, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe for something like this, where you're just exploring a theory, a possibility, to see if theoretically it's possible. I don't think maybe so much as cheating as it is just a case study to see, could you do it, in theory.
Almost 200 more using only passive 3 damage at the end of our turn. And that's just not happening. It sure also didn't help that the bosses in this game are not treated equally. In each act, there are 3 different bosses that can spawn, and currently in Act 1, there is already one which is just basically unbeatable. Along with being by far the tankiest, it also constantly shuffles more and more burns into our deck, while at the same time buffing itself. Which now meant that not only did I need to get the specific relics, but if it happened to be the Hexaghost, I had basically already lost. So, since the relics were clearly not enough, it was time to make use of the second thing we have available to us: potions. These are consumable one-time effects which in some way aids us in exactly one fight. And while most of these have effects that are quite useful, for our specific purposes only 3 different ones would actually suffice. These being
no cheating, only hardcore. Yeah, we'll be assured that whenever I play Slay the Spire on stream, it'll always be fair. No seed searching, no cheating or anything. Every game I play will be completely legit. I'd only ever use cheats in a run I plan to throw away just to test different decks and stuff. Because there are mods that can just give you stuff. But, achievements and everything, I want to earn those legitimately.
liquid bronze potions, giving us 3 thorns for 3 reflected damage anytime an enemy hits us. Essence of Steel for 4 plated armor, exactly identical to what Thread and Needle already gives us. And focus potions, granting us 2 focus, increasing the effects of our orbs by a flat 2. Unfortunately for me though, the mod I was using actually doesn't have any way of filtering for potions, so instead it was time to just keep looking through seeds and just try to find one that was good enough.
Alright, maybe this time it'll work. Easy enough first fight. Oh, that's a Essence of Steel. Mind if I do? And some free gold, nice. And a focus potion? Okay. Guess I'll also grab the waffle. Sure, why not? Should beat this encounter for free.
There we go.
Nice, Orichalcum. Nice, okay. Threaded Needle. And Stone Calendar. Holy, this run is crazy.
Alright.
And another Essence of Steel. What is happening? This has to be it. Come on, man. All right, boss time. This run is crazy. Double plated steel and a focus. Well, nothing to do but try. Perfect timing to proc there to avoid the damage. Nice. Should block it all here too. This turn we get the proc.
Cheating is allowed in one situation when you're training. Yeah, what you think? That's why I don't see this so much as cheating. I think it's just exploring a theoretical possibility. If you could beat this game. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not offended at all. It's good to have different opinions and views on things in one place. Yeah, it's good for encouraging discussion.
Halfway there. Ow. Ow. Do I live through this? I do live through this. 3 HP. Oh my god, do I win? Oh my god, I win!
You got it?
I win!
You got
I
it!
win!
You got
Holy
it!
shit, I win!
You got
Yep,
it! Nice!
I did it. This seed here was the one which finally got past Act 1. And it had everything. Lucky relic finds, lucky potion finds, and the easiest of the 3 bosses. Yet still, even with this, it just barely managed to scrape by the first act before quickly dying at the start of the second one. Which means that all the hours I had spent so far was for nothing. Am I really going to start all over and attempt to figure out another better strategy from complete scratch? Of course I am. Our current issue is that we simply just lack enough block. With the enemies in Act 2 getting a severe increase in difficulty, our 10 at the end of our turn is just not enough anymore. But like I said before, there are almost no relics that actually provide block at the end of each turn without us having to, well, play cards. Almost none. Because there is actually exactly one that would give us a shot at this. The Frozen Core. This is a boss relic obtainable from beating the first act boss, which upgrades our basic relic, changing it from providing us with a single lightning orb to instead giving us one frost orb at the end of our turn until
But then
all
he-
our
but he
orb
loses
slots are
damage
full.
options.
And frost orbs are importantly different.
Yeah, everyone has their own rules on playing, and you know, and you're absolutely right. Video games should be fun. Exactly. If in a single player game where there's absolutely no stakes or anything like that, you know, as long as you're not competing against other players, I'm definitely of the mind that it's okay to cheat in a single player game. I mean, whenever I play Fallout 4, you know, but if I was losing a battle, I would just give myself a million stim packs and just be on my way. Like, if you're playing alone, it's perfectly fine. That's definitely how I see it too. Yeah, just don't cheat in competitive games, and you know, and everything's good. Playing in God mode is considered fun. It's a lot of fun.
As instead of dealing damage, they provide us with a whole 2 armor. Which means that by itself, this is actually not very impressive. But thankfully, there are ways of scaling this. By simply combining it with something like Runic Capacitor, a shop relic which increases our orb slots by 3, and Data Disc, providing us with 1 focus, we shoot up from a meager 6 block per turn to a much more respectable 18. Which actually, by itself, as long as we have both Mercury Hourglass and Bronze Scales, is more than enough to easily make it over to the second boss. Or that is what I thought at first, but of course the game had other plans.
Block is not removed at the start
Oh,
of its
no.
turn. Huh. Is this guy unbeatable? Because he seems pretty unbeatable to me.
Yeah, so as it turns out, Act 2 has 2 types of enemies that just gain so much block every turn
Yeah.
that they are actually completely unbeatable for us. With our damage at its highest being 6 per turn, even with the 52 damage nuke, it is just not enough. Which means that we either need to just not run into them, or we need to find a smoke bomb and just skip them. Very fun. Anyway, it is time for the Act 2 boss fight,
Oh, the
which
champion.
unfortunately all have exactly the same problem we had with this guy. So let's have a look at them. The first one, the champ, is sadly completely off the table as he gets 14 block at the end of every single turn and is therefore completely impossible. Which means
Yeah, not to mention that even if you try to do you know like some type of passive damage and a status effect on him, as I learned the hard way.
Flashback.
I've done it now. I've really done it now. Wait, did he cure the poison? Wait. He cured his poison.
End of flashback.
He'll get rid of all debuffs on him. Which is pretty rough.
means that we can only go for either the Collector or the Bronze Automaton. And the Robot one actually seemed pretty doable at first, until I actually tried it. The Automaton has this absolutely insane nuke, which deals a casual 45 damage baseline. He also gets 2 other helpers, which not only slow down the fight significantly by providing block, but also hit for another 8 damage each. But even worse than this is his boost move. Used on his every second to third move, it increases his strength by a flat 3. And he's guaranteed to spam this, meaning...
And if you're playing the game properly with cards, you know, I think these guys will steal an important card from you. I'm not sure what cards to prioritize, but more often than not, they took a card that you really, really needed, forcing you to waste time taking out the minions instead of focusing on the boss. Oh yeah, I hate facing the automaton. I really would rather face the champion than the automaton.
that after just a few rounds, well, the damage is just way too high. Which means that there's only one possible boss left, the Collector. This guy does also scale his damage indefinitely, but luckily he does it way slower. Still, with his summons guaranteed to deal 14 damage every single turn, the 18 armor we were getting was just not going to be enough. But thankfully, we can go even further beyond. Specifically by picking up some focus potions. These, just like Data Disc, increase our focus, in turn increasing our block, but instead of just doing it by 1, they each do it by 2. Shooting up our total block each turn by a massive 12 per potion used. Which means that technically, if we could just use 3 of these, we would get 54 block every single turn. Now that's pretty damn good. This is enough to oversustain the damage we
That'll
would
take
take for
insane luck
quite a
to
long
pull it off,
time,
you know,
but
legitimately.
unfortunately, it's still not quite enough. That is just how much their damage steadily ramps up. So the final piece of the puzzle was needed, the calipers. These let us, instead of losing all our block at the start of our turn, only lose 15. Which means that as long as we're oversustaining by more than 15 block every turn, we will just keep stacking more and more and more. So surely now, with 54 block at the end of every turn, which also carries over, this would be enough to beat him. Well, yes, it actually is. 54 block every single turn means that any turn that he decides to sit back and either buff or resummon his dudes, we get another 39 extra block for the future. So before...
Imagine if the stars would ever align to allow this to happen naturally. That would be a perfect run if it ever happened naturally.
His damage can actually ramp up enough to deal more damage than what we get, we are already comfortably sitting with a 300 block buffer, actually letting us outsustain his gigantic health pool even with our very, very bad 6 damage per turn.
Let's go! Oh, that was free.
There we go.
Nice. Act 2 down.
And so all that remains is Act 3. Thankfully, in comparison to Act 2, the
Yeah, the stars ever aligned in such a way. That'd be like the god game, the perfect game.
enemies here don't really gain that much armor every turn. The only real impossible fight before the boss is this one, as he hits for a stupid amount each turn. What you're meant to do is just deal enough damage for him to lose all his strength, but we cannot actually do that, so yeah, running into him
ouch.
spells an instant loss. But I mean, so does running into this fucking guy, so what else is really new? Which means that all that remained now was the final Act 3 boss. And here problems yet again arose. One of the bosses, the Awakened one, normally what I consider at least to be by far the easiest Act 3 boss, apparently gets a casual 10 HP regen every turn. This is
yeah, he
normally
does.
such a small amount by this point that I had never even noticed it. But for us, as established, since we almost do no damage, this actually makes the fight completely unbeatable. The second one, the Donut pair, seemed more beatable, but really it just wasn't. It was just the same song and dance as with the Automaton, but on a whole different level. Even if we were to use 3 focus potions like before, with our 54 block every turn, it is not even close to enough. Which again, only leaves us with one boss. And to be honest, in normal runs, he is bar none the hardest one. The Time Eater. Because this guy is almost a gimmick fight. Anytime
I hate facing Time Slug as silent, you know? It's pretty much over. Like, let me spam shivs, you stupid slug.
you play 12 cards against him, he automatically steals your turn and permanently buffs himself. Which means that in most normal good runs, where you can play like 20 cards in a turn, well, he sorta just shuts down that strategy completely. However, we of course don't actually have this problem. Since we are not allowed to play any cards, we will never actually trigger this effect. And importantly, this effect is his only way of scaling his damage. So, as long as we don't trigger it, we just need to deal with his normal baseline moves. This damage is actually so low that we barely even need to do anything. After all, our baseline relics already give us 18 block every turn, so just one focus potion is enough. As with exactly 30 block every turn, there is actually no way for him to get through. Clearly not the intended way this fight is meant to go, but hey, considering how hard it was to get here, I am not complaining. And yeah, that is basically it. Slay the Spire without playing a single card has been completed. Or that is what I'd like to say. But this, after all, just showed you how to do it. Now, I just needed to actually do it. Which meant that it was finally time to once again go hunting for an actually beatable seed. And this proved to be significantly harder than I had anticipated. See, when you look at what is required, it really doesn't seem that bad. After all, we just need a few relics and potions. I mean, how hard could that really
the stars only need to align perfectly. I wonder if such a seed exists. I wonder how many seeds are even in this game, man.
be to get? Well, pretty damn hard. It took anywhere from 150 million to sometimes all the way up to 1 billion seeds to just find one. And when I finally did find one, well, getting through it was practically impossible. First, in Act 1, we either have to find a specific set of relics, then when in Act 2, I had to not only not run into a single one of these enemies, which again happened a fair few times.
Oh my god, they're very persistent Act 2 enemies, yeah. Might make me think of what was it? What, Avengers Infinity War? In Infinity War, right? Where, you know, where Doctor Strange was like, you know, I saw it from 5 billion timelines. And they're like, how many timelines did we win? And Doctor Strange answers, only one. That's pretty much what this is, isn't it?
But then also specifically get the collector boss, followed by finding at least 2 focus potions and 1 thorn potions on the way. Then in the extremely unlikely scenario that we actually happen to do this, in Act 3, I had to do it again. I had to not run into any of these enemies and then specifically get Time Eater and specifically find 1 more focus potion. And well, as you might expect, this never happened. I tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed, and it just wasn't happening. I even tried some other strategies, like getting the shovel and the tiny chest for instant access to way more relics, which didn't really help. I tried using the white beast statue to force more potions, but that also was just not enough. So, can you beat Slay the Spire without playing a single card? Absolutely. Did I manage to? No, I did not. I mean, I guess I did in theory, but in practice, I just couldn't find the seed. Somewhere out there, there exists millions, probably billions of seeds that can do it. But after over 100 hours of seed searching, I have still yet to find one. I do think though that the strategy used in this video is the one that requires the least amount of luck and is theoretically the easiest one to pull off. It's just still astronomically unlikely to find even 1 suitable seed. Thanks for watching my dumb video as always. If anyone has any idea of how this could possibly be done in a simpler way, then do feel free to let me know in the comments and maybe I'll revisit this sometime. I'm just done looking through seeds, man. Like I spent way too long just having it on in the background, and every single time I found one, it just didn't work. It's Anyway, sorry, I'm just yapping again. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I like that. That was pretty funny. Oh, poor dude tried his best. He tried his best. But even in theory, even if it could work in theory, it just could not work in practice, huh? And if he could spend gold in potions, yeah, but there's no guarantee that the potion he needs will appear, right? That mod he showed, Filter the Spire, it seems it can control relics, but it couldn't control what potions he appeared. So getting the exact potions he needed at least like 3 focus potions and 1 thorn potion, right? Yeah. So the chances of those appearing when he needed them are almost as astronomical as beating it all without drawing a single card. It's good to know that it is possible in theory. Yeah, but actually pulling it off, it would be impossible. You know, the odds are beyond astronomical. The indomitable human spirit versus Lady Luck. You'll need a lot more than Lady Luck to clear that one.